I think I have a tip for you all which would be beneficial for everyone in the long run. It's this. Every account should have at least one set of each Universal Echo set, but especially the Lingering Tunes temporary DPS set. Now I imagine everyone has their DPS semi-built, and I can bet that most of your DPSs will be featuring the Elemental Echo set that fits for their element. That's great if you have it, but it's more than likely you're going to be missing 1 or 2 echoes, which really sucks. 3-cost echoes can be really annoying to farm for in general, and that's especially the case for DPS units with elements which may not overlap depending on your account. For example, you may have DPS Danjin, but you can't use her set on DPS Sanhua because she's not a Havoc user. I don't think I need to tell you, but typically each elemental set should be used on the element it is tied to. No duh. That in turn means you'll be grinding like a gooning fiend trying to get each individual piece of a respective set. The reason I say especially for Lingering Tunes is because the set can be used across all DPS units at your earliest convenience no matter who it is. That means you can also use your shiny new DPS toys when you get them, like Shang Liao. It's always the worst when you win 50/50s and can't use them very well because they're a damage hindrance to your team. Adding in a temporary set allows you to have fun sooner with your new waifu or husbando. I also saw this from Bitex, who I guess did some early calc showing that Lingering Tunes for him would be a roughly 7% bump compared to the traditional Electro set. I don't know if it's true yet since he's not out, but we'll all be able to know soon enough. I just wanted to throw it out there for you in case the stars lined up for you. The Lingering Tune set is great too because it's like the old buy one get one survey coupons at Chick-fil-A, because if you go to the Tacet Field in Chi-Chi Village, you're getting both Lingering Tunes and Rejuvenating Glow. Rejuvenating Glow is another universal set as well, and as I said before, you should have at least one of each set, so you're getting 2 out of the 3 universal sets from one Tacet Field. Not only that, but the Mech Abomination is probably one of the best echoes that no one really uses or talks about. It has one of the fastest echo animations in the game which can interrupt annoying combo strings, and it also is easy to utilize because of how big the range is. Additionally, this may be the only set or thing in the game that has quadratic scaling, which is a fancy way of saying if you have like 4 enemies grouped up in one place, you're gonna be hitting everything really hard with this echo. Did that make sense? It has a decent AoE because of how wide the ring effect is, so you'll be also doing damage to faraway enemies, helping a bit more in clearing content if you lack grouping. But be warned, it doesn't solve all of your problems with grouping though. Lastly, for characters where the outro skills feature big instances of damage, you'll be swapping off dealing a bigger burst because of the set and Mech Abomination if you decide to use it. If you're already far in and have been grinding specific sets, I say worry about finishing that set off first. When that's done, then try to invest in at least one decently built Lingering Tune set with an attack main stat on both 3-cost echoes. If you're at the earlier stages where you're just starting to grind out for echo sets, I would personally recommend the Lingering Tune set be done first unless you have a game plan on who you want to level now that has crossing over sets, like Havoc Rover plus Danjin or Ling Yang and Sanhua. But if you're trying to have varied things with 0 crossover among elements, Lingering Tunes would really help you be more flexible early on, but also stay flexible if your dedicated sets aren't ready. And since this is a temporary set and a swappable set too, you don't necessarily need to marry yourself to stat allocations like a madman. You can sort of be lenient with your groans if you happen to get some less than ideal stats, then fix things later on once you feel the need to do touch-ups on that set. The support sets are also, just as of right now, the general default sets for those characters too, so they should naturally be grinded for as well, since good DPS units deserve good supports. One less important consideration too for all the Rover lovers is that this will doubly apply to you since Rover is an all-elemental user. Well, eventually they will be. So Lingering Tunes would be just a good set overall for Rover, as it will be less of a hassle and less of a grind for you. Like, do you really want to grind 7 individual sets for each Rover iteration? Anywho, I ask you now, do you have one set of the Universal Echo sets? Did you fall into the cult of Mech Abomination? Hell, do you think this is good advice, or am I just being a silly little bitch? In my head this makes sense, but I want to know if you disagree or not. In any case, I appreciate you, thank you for letting me take your time, and be safe out there.